Right. As you know, we are just looking at the origins of language curriculum developments. Various historical phases and their influence on the curriculum that we have now. So we're gonna see approaches to gradation. What approaches were used to grade grammatical syllabus in the first few decades of the 20th century. So let's have a look. We got a combination of four approaches to gradation. And the first one was the linguistic distance. As you might see yourself, the very word distance reveals to what extent the structure of the target language, English, for example, is similar to the second language, for example, Urdu or Punjabi. And another approach to gradation, which was applied to grammatical syllabus, was intrinsic difficulty. As we have already discussed it thoroughly, right? To introduce the structures which were considered simple, just to avoid the vocabulary overload to the learners. Another approach, right, here we go, there was the communicative need, to expose the learners to the lexical or the grammatical syllabus which was suitable, which was needed by them. Okay, and for example, the use of past tense, that wasn't something very frequent in the textbooks then, but it was sort of introduced early because of its importance and necessity. Right, we've got frequency as well. That approach actually was about how frequently some of the grammatical structures occur in a textbook or in an English material book. So these were some of the possible approaches which were applied to devise a grammatical syllabus in the let's say 1950s and so. Right. So amongst these approaches, there were a set of two choices left for the syllabus designers. And these choices were, for example, cyclical, and then it was the spiral. So the cyclical, as the word itself shows, not to introduce a set of things collectively, rather to introduce lexical items or the grammatical items one by one, okay, before moving on to the next stage. For example, if you want to teach parts of speech, you would like to start with the noun, and that was the cyclical approach. And then there was the spiral one. The spiral one was just to go from the old to the new rules, and that was the approach maintained throughout second language syllabuses. Right. And what was the result then? What was the influence of these approaches? And obviously, the result was, cyclical was something considered more useful than the spiral one because of its emphasis on, introducing simple to difficult to the complex lexical structures. All right. And then we've got, as a result of these approaches, some key textbooks, emerged and were written. And the important one was the phrase, teaching and learning English as a foreign language. As a result of these approaches and its influence to syllabus design, we got a pedagogical approach to syllabus design. I mean, a a systematic approach to syllabus design. And therefore, in the light of these approaches, we could say like lexical, I mean, the vocabulary items and the grammatical syllabuses obviously left great impact upon, early approaches to grammatical syllabus. And obviously, the lexical and the grammatical both, were considered important, but the grammatical one was considered to be the core. So, as to say like these approaches to gradation, played their own role just to specify what sort of grammatical syllabus was needed then.